And we're on. Hi, Courtney.
And we're live. Hey. Hello, everyone.
Hi. So it's nice to meet you. This is, I guess, the most face-to-face we've been other than Instagram.
Yeah, I know.
This is Courtney Runyon, everybody. We have a mutual friend, Ashley Kabelka, and Courtney's over doing her thing, and I'm doing my thing. And Ashley told me one day, she's like, you have to meet my friend Courtney. She's amazing. She's wonderful. You guys are so much alike. And so I went to her page, and Courtney, let me just tell you, I are we alike? I don't know. She's fire. This girl, you could tell, is just like living her best life. She's doing her
Yeah.
thing. Um, so I went back. I kind of wanted to just insta stalk you for a little bit. I went back to see, okay, what was it like before you went through, and I'll let you explain, this journey that you've been put on and that was put before you. But I went back to look, and you were doing the same thing before, and it's like a run-on of that. You're just like, joy and life in one body, of what an example of, I think, the way most people should be living their life. But hold on, let me go ahead and point out because
I don't know.
you don't know.
Yes. Well, I don't know. I was talking to somebody the other day. He's a really good guy friend. He's been like a really strong support system for me. He was just like, I think sometimes you're just winging it. And I'm like, I'm totally winging it. But yeah, I mean, in short, I I was living in Las Vegas at the time that my autoimmune started. And the autoimmune that I was diagnosed with is CIDP, which stands for chronic inflammatory demyelinating polyneuropathy, which is the chronic form of Guillain-Barré. Some people know Guillain-Barré. I actually got as bad as a lot of Guillain-Barré people. To the point where I was having trouble breathing and swallowing, and I had lost my voice as well because I was partially paralyzed. And what CIDP did does or did for in my situation was it got to the point to where I was completely paralyzed in both arms and both legs. And when I say completely, I couldn't even make any connection to that muscle from my brain whatsoever. I couldn't make the muscle twitch, nothing. And both arms and both legs, every single muscle. And then my core was never completely paralyzed, but it was paralyzed enough that I couldn't sit up or roll over. And because I was choking on liquids a little bit, since my throat was pretty weak, I couldn't even flex my stomach to cough the liquid out. And I couldn't sneeze. So my stomach was so weak, I couldn't even do that.
Let's take you back a little bit. So you're this
Yeah.
young 20-something, beautiful girl living her life in Vegas.
Yeah.
Doing your thing. And where were you working? What was your career at the time?
I was in sales, and I really liked my job. My job was pretty cool. I traveled for work. So I traveled to Hawaii, California, Colorado, Utah, New Mexico, Nevada, Arizona. I'm probably forgetting one in there, but I worked for a ductile iron pipe manufacturer, and I would go visit our distributors and just like hang out with these super cool dudes. So it was fun. It was stressful because we got bought out, and that put a lot of, anytime a company gets bought out by another company, there's just chaos. So we were just, and then I had a pretty active social life, I would say.
Good.
But
Nothing
I just went really, yeah. And my point of saying that is just, I went hard. Like I lived like a very action-packed high. I think I put my body through a lot of stress, and I don't mean stress, think of it like, oh, just that too, but just overall stress, like being on airplanes all the time, partying, traveling, eating all these amazing foods and drinking wine, and like working really hard at work, and
living it up the way
dealing with all
someone
those
in their 20s
emotions.
typically wants to live it up. You were just doing it.
Yeah.
Doing it all. You were
Yeah.
actually living the dream that most people search for, especially in their 20s, right?
Yeah, but I thought I had life figured out. I really did. I was very, very happy. But I also meditated daily. I actually meditated to a guided meditation that, practices gratitude for being able to walk, which is like super ironic. I did like green smoothies and detox teas every morning. I exercised. I did yoga. I had great friends, great family. I mean, So I was like, no, I was like, I know that if you know, I'll never get sick is what I used to think, because I thought I was
So
doing
happy.
so good. Yeah.
So what happened? Was it, now looking back, I think it's always easier to kind of recognize symptoms when you look back.
Yeah.
But you're happy, you're doing all this, your fast-paced life. And
Yeah.
was it one day you woke up and it was changed? All
No,
different?
it came on slow. The first thing I remember is that my thumb was numb, and I was like, why is my thumb so numb? I can't even feel it. I could take a knife and just cut my thumb off and not even know. And then I all of a sudden I couldn't run. And that's when I was like, okay, something's like really wrong here. My legs felt really heavy, like I was wearing 100-pound jacket, you know, like trying to jump, and that like you can't jump. It's like some people can, but for the most part, you got a 100-pound jacket on. It's really hard to jump. So yeah, that was kind of how it came on slow. But you know, like most people, you hear about these crazy things that happen to other people, and you just don't think that you're going to be that person that ends up on the news, because I did end up on the news. You just don't think that that's going to happen to you for whatever reason. We just think we all have this invincible factor. And so I just thought it's something that would just go away. I was just like, I don't know, maybe I'm just deficient of B12 right now or something. Maybe I'm dehydrated, or, you know, I don't know what this is. I'm sure it'll go away. I'll go to the doctor, but whatever. And then I kept getting weaker and weaker and weaker. And by the time I knew it really was something serious,
Right.
you know, it takes so long to get into somewhere like the Mayo Clinic or something like that, which I got very lucky. I got in I think 2 months. But in those 2 months, they were pretty destructive to my nervous system. Yeah.
So tell everybody your big crash, the big crash that was like, oh crap, and tell a news story too. I mean, how did this unfold?
Yeah, I mean,
Because weren't you hiking or something, or that came after? Weren't you out?
like by big crash, you mean like the moment that, like my low point, or what do you mean?
Yeah, oh no, the big like, oh crap, like I couldn't get out of bed one morning, or you know, was it,
Yeah.
oh whoops.
Yeah, I mean, I have so many stories I could tell like that. I mean, they're just so many. When your life is slipping through your fingers, like every day I was weaker, and every day there was something I could do the day before I could no longer do. Like I remember I would just lift my arm up every day to see how high I could lift it, and every day it was a little bit less, and I was just like, oh my god, like I'm losing control of myself right now. And there was no sense of urgency with my medical team at the time. I later ended up in the right hospital. But I remember the last day I walked without walking for 7 months. And I went without using my arms for a year.
Say that
Put that
again.
in
Didn't walk for 7 months.
Yeah, I was in a wheelchair, couldn't walk for 7 months. And my arms were completely paralyzed for about a year. And to put that in perspective, is for a year, every time I had to go to the bathroom, someone had to come with me to take my pants on and off and help me wipe. To give you an
Right.
idea, think about how many times you do that a day. And I had to do that with somebody for a year, every day. So, but the last day that was walking, I was in Las Vegas. I was living at the time with my ex-boyfriend, or boyfriend at the time, and his ex-wife was staying with us with her boyfriend. Yes, my ex-boyfriend's ex-wife.
Very progressive.
And she's really cool, and she was actually taking care of me and helping out around the condo and stuff. Well, I'm like butt naked. Went to the bathroom, and I was still walking. My arms were paralyzed, and she was helping me brush my teeth and all these things, helping get me ready for bed. And I'm walking from the toilet to the bed, which is not very far. And she's behind me, and my leg gives out on me, which is not the first time. My leg was giving out on me, you know, once or twice a week, then once a day, then 3 times a day. And at this point, you know, so my leg gave out, and I went straight down like I always did. And she caught my head from slamming into the floor.
Oh,
And I was just like, okay. And I was just like, you're gonna have to go get your boyfriend, because you're not gonna be able to pick me up. Like, I have no strength. to help you get me back up.
Yeah.
And so she went and got her put a t-shirt on me, went and got her boyfriend, progressive. She got me clothes and put me back in the bed. And I thought, okay, this is it. I can't walk anymore. And it was just like not safe anymore. I was just like, I'm going to get really hurt if I keep trying to walk. My legs are getting out. I can't walk anymore. So that was the last steps I took. And I didn't take another step for 7 months.
Did you know at this time that you had CIDP? Or were you still didn't know what it was yet?
No, I found out. Yeah, I just found out. Because I remember the Mayo Clinic is where I got diagnosed in September 2017. And that was the first time I sat in a wheelchair because it was walking a lot back and forth to different buildings or whatever. So it was just like a lot of walking. So I was just like, I'll just go do the wheelchair just to save my energy. And then this was like a week or two after that. That I got diagnosed at the Mayo Clinic, and I thought, okay, cool. Like I've hit the bottom. Sweet. Like that was a crazy ride. But I'm getting treatment. All good. Like I guess it could have been worse. I'm at the Mayo Clinic. If anybody can do it, they can. And the plan they put me in did not work. So I got a lot worse after that. Mm-hmm.
Isn't that frustrating? That I had a similar, it was not a Mayo Clinic, it was so we both have myelin issues. Yours is CIDP, mine is MS.
Yeah.
And I want to know more about yours and kind of get into it. But doctors, I mean, you mentioned how your doctors in the beginning just ignored you. And then now the Mayo Clinic, which is like supposed to be cream of the crop, right? And I was at Rocky Mountain MS Clinic seeing specialists who for more than a year totally ignored one of my other diagnoses, of having POTS and just, we can read their notes now. They have like, I don't know if you have that, but here,
you can?
Yes. So if you go online, a lot of these places you log online.
You can?
Yes, girl.
Oh, yeah, wow.
I'm pretty, most medical, for anybody listening, most medical people have online where you can log in. Here we have UC Health, and we log into UC Health and we check our appointments, we see our blood test, we download our records, and we can view the notes from the doctors. And I was viewing my notes from the doctors, and they weren't very nice. And it made me, when I got to finally go back and read them, I'm like, they are totally ignoring everything I'm telling them. It was so, I was livid. And it was a point where it was so hard at the time to get there energy wise. Like I have to get up and get in the shower, to get up and use the bathroom was tiresome. So for you, being at the Mayo Clinic and you're like, cream of their crop, they're going to make me better. And then it got worse. What were you feeling emotionally? I mean, you're already defeated. Yeah.
It was so much worse. I was still okay at the time. And I do have to, the Mayo was awesome. It's just their treatment plan didn't work, and their protocol after didn't help because I kept getting weaker and weaker. I was like, now I'm in a wheelchair. Now I can't stand. Now I can't do this. And then they were just like, oh, just give it time. Give the medication time to work. And what sucks is if they had said, this medicine should be working more than that, let's get you back in here because we need to try something else, I guarantee you I'd be running right now instead of still having drop foot and having as much damage as I do. So it sucks that one interaction could have changed the rest of my life. Which is
did you feel hopeless, and what was the change? When did you step up, or did another doctor suggest something else? Like what was the change? Were you being an advocate, or what happened? I
mean, we all have to be our own advocate. You're the only one that lives in your body all the time, and you're the one that knows how you feel, and your intuition really is always right. But after the Mayo Clinic, feeling hopeless, I mean, the thing is, I was so happy. And I think that's been something that's different in my autoimmune experience versus a lot of people's, is I've been happy the whole time. Maybe not every moment, but so it was okay. I wasn't hopeless. I was just like, this is a different way to live life. Like, this is a different experience. I like to try everything once. Hey, why not try being paralyzed? Whatever.
Let's try that.
But what is also an interesting part of my journey and story is after the Mayo, I went to a nursing home, a rehab hospital, got worse, paralyzed from the neck down. And I had to really take a look at my life. Like, you know what? maybe I didn't have everything figured out. Like why am I sick and what is keeping me sick? And I recognized that Vegas was not the right place for me to live, but I'd already gotten out of there. I recognized that my job was not, I think under normal circumstances, I could have handled the stress, but at the time it was not a healing place for me. And then my boyfriend at the time liked to party a lot. And I was always in this party environment, which was not congruent with what I needed. And my parents came and picked me up and took me to Texas. And I went and saw a different neurologist that did have a sense of urgency. So that was a big player there. I got readmitted into the hospital. I got plasma exchange, which is something I was advocating for since the Mayo, and I also went to UCLA. They wouldn't give me the plasma exchange. So I knew that was the next form of treatment. And they just said, no, for insurance purposes, we need IVIG for 3 months, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like telling you, like, this is shit's not working and I need to get plasma exchange. So the doctor in Texas admitted me immediately. She totally agreed with me. She was like, I don't know if this is going to work, and we could run more tests, but we need to do something right now. Like, you're going down fast. And I was like, thank you. Yes. That's what I've been trying to tell every other doctor. I'm going down fast. We got to do something. So she admitted me. Plasma exchange didn't end up work, but it did end up working. But I had a very delayed, I'm going somewhere with this. I had a very delayed response to it. Like 90-something% of people respond about 10 to 14 days faster than I did. And on my last day in the hospital, I broke up with my boyfriend. And I was just like, your lifestyle choices are not helping me here. And there's a lot more to that, but this isn't, a relationship podcast here.
Whatever you share, like, honestly, it's
Yeah.
not trying to get the tea, but I mean, this is real life. This is what relationships, family wise and friend wise, all has to do with what we go through.
Yeah. Well, I think that this was some people, it seems like no matter what they try, like no matter what medication, no matter what doctor, no matter what they do, they just can't seem to get on the upswing. So I can tell you that I've been there and I understand that. And I wasn't on my upswing until I broke up with my boyfriend, who was the love of my life, and I love him very much. But where he was at in his life and where I was at couldn't be together. And after a year of declining, I started improving 2 days after that. 2 days. And I've only gotten better since. And I'm not saying, things were his fault or anything like that. It's just sometimes we've got things in our environment. You can't heal in the same environment that made you sick. You just can't. It doesn't make any sense. Like, so I had to make some big changes, whether they'll be permanent or not, forever. Can I return to my old job? Yeah, probably, but at the time, like, you have to really cut ties with everything that's keeping you sick, whether you love them or not. Like, if you're a really good mom and you do everything for your kids and you go to every game and you cook dinner every night and you just give your life for them, but you're really sick, like, you're probably going to stay sick until, like, and I know that kids come first in all of this, but
no, but it's true.
But it's like you can be a good mom while readjusting your lifestyle for a little while.
Yeah.
Like, get your mom to help, get your sister to help. Tell the kids, like, I love you. And I love you so much that's why I'm going to take care of myself right now so that I can be a good mom to this of your life. Like, this is for both of us. Like, you can be a better mom, a better wife, a better husband, a better friend, a better boss, worker, all these things, if you just take care of yourself in the short run so that you can be better in the long run. Otherwise, you're just delaying the inevitable.
Yeah.
Like, whatever, if you don't change your environment, how do you ever expect that all of a sudden your health is going to change?
That was like me. I was, trying to be superwoman and try to bounce back from my lowest and deepest points, and still trying to take care of my, trying to take care of them from the couch. They're the ones that were taking care of me. They're doing the cooking, and then
Yeah.
they're teenagers trying to manage teenagers while trying to heal from chronic, places and health. And yeah, I had to ultimately take my two youngest to their dad because I was just kept declining. And it's,
Yeah.
sometimes we have to do that. We have
Yeah.
to, like you said, if we do it initially before we have that big downfall, if we stop putting
Yeah.
ourselves last and make sure we take room for all of that, then we can keep that balance. But
Yeah. It's humbling.
it is. Oh,
But
yes.
but I've learned that we are not the artist of this world. We are part of the art. Like, we're just a piece of this beautiful, beautiful life and beautiful world. And like, it's really like, we're not the ones writing the script. So it's like, we need to take these messages from our bodies and just life in general and just like roll with it.
Yes.
Like, just let somebody else's paintbrush, lay things out for us. We're not the ones
Let go of some
calling the
control
shots.
and just live it and be present.
Yeah.
Did you find there was the relationship with the boyfriend? For me, I walked away from quite a lot of friendships.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Well, not about you. Just like our like, what is it? The top 5 people we surround ourselves with is just who we've become, kind of thing.
Yeah, they say whoever you surround yourself with is who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had I know you were in sales. I had a lot of people, and they're so supportive when I first became ill, and everybody's like, oh, and then people kind of, you see, fade off because they don't have time for your new ill life or your weakness.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, yeah, you went with
Yeah.
it. Just the people that stuck by me, even when I went home. It was so funny. When I went back home, I was really, really weak at the time, and I like people in business who were like, oh, whatever you need, quiet. Like, I didn't hear from them anymore. And there are just a few people. So since now that I'm back and trying to get back into business again, it's like, I know who you really are. So I'm not working with you, but I'll work, it just kind of works. But I know.
How long were you not working for?
Oh gosh, I was trying to work. So this happened in July of 2015.
Mm-hmm.
So I kept trying to work, and about a year and a half ago, it just crashed where it's like I surrendered. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I just came back this June, and I'm trying again, and it's a struggle. Like sitting here, I'm ready to take a nap. It's like, all right, I had a bad day yesterday that carried into today, but I'm like, I can't wait to do this interview. So do this, and then I'll go home. So yeah, but I'm hopeful. I want to, I love watching your adventures, and I know you probably want more, and I can't wait to see what you do. I believe you're going to get stronger and better. I can't wait to see after. But I love living vicariously through Instagram. You can go ahead and give everybody your handle. What is your handle?
It's the Unicort. So TheUnicort.
Yes. And so right now you're traveling the world trying to get better.
Yeah. So
trying to find that joy and fill your spirit up to help get better.
Yeah. So when I remember I remember everything about this moment. There's so many moments that passed that we just don't, they didn't make an impression on us. We forget. But I remember this moment, and I was sitting in my wheelchair in my room, and it was on New Year's, I think January 2018. And I was just like, this could be really sad. Like, I'm paralyzed from the neck down. I had to move away from my condo, away from my friends, break up with my boyfriend, go on disability from my job. I can't run. I can't dance. I can't shower myself, feed myself. Like this, I live with my parents at 33 years old at the time. This could be really sad. And I know that everyone would understand if I crawled in a ball and got depressed. In fact, I've been offered antidepressants so many times. And not because of my behavior, just people are like, you must be depressed. And I'm like, not yet. Yeah. But I was just like, and I could do that and I wouldn't feel guilty of doing that. I was like, but these tragedies, these things that happen to us in our life, and that could be anything. I'm like, it's not the actual event that makes it so sad. It's how that person's life is ruined by it. That's sad. and you watch like, oh wow, they were so great, they had so much going for them, and then this thing happened, and now like, and you get it, you're just like, now they're just like can't be the person they were before, or we believe we can't be the person we were before. I hear so many people that have gone through something tragic where they're just like, if you would have known me before. And I'm like, but I know you now, and let's do some cool stuff. But it's, so I was sitting in my wheelchair and I was just like, I'm not going to let my early 30s be sad and be wasted. I don't want to survive this and get through this just so I can be back on my feet. Like, I want to love this time in my life just as much as the last and the next. All this internal dialogue I have with myself. I was like, so I'm going to do that. And I was like, how can I take advantage and utilize the good things about what's going right now to my advantage? I was like, well, I'm not working and I'm on disability. So I've got time and a little bit of income to where I can, just a little bit to where I can do some stuff. So I spent lots of quality time with my family, and I started dressing up in costumes. Well, I didn't do it. People would dress me up since I couldn't use my hands. I started like
that you would go with it.
Yeah, whatever. I started writing on my phone with my nose because I love to write. So I would peck at my phone. I have the time. It would take me like 3 days to do 3 paragraphs, but I would type with my nose and wrote some things that I really love, and started making videos, and I would edit the videos with my nose on my phone.
Wow.
And I would just wear wigs around the nursing home, and it made me laugh so much. It really made me laugh to see the old people's reaction to all of that stuff. And it made me feel good when I saw people smiling at me. Like, I know that it was a breath of fresh air to them that, like, man, if she can like smile and be in a costume from a wheelchair, like, I don't have shit to complain about. I can, sorry for cussing, like I can handle what I'm going through. And then after that, since then, this last thing I'll say is, now that I'm back on my feet and I can be mostly independent, I'm like, well, how can I make my healing fun? So I went to Mexico to an ashram meditation center and did a 23-day hatha yoga intensive where I did 3 to 4 hours of yoga a day. I went and walked across Spain. I walked the Camino de Santiago and did a 500-mile walk across that to build strength. I went to Morocco and rented a little Airbnb on the beach and did a lot of fasting because they have really good tea there. They have good food too, so that was kind of like I came to Morocco to not eat. What else did I do? There's been a few things. I'm about to go back to Guatemala. Oh yeah, I went to Guatemala like a year ago and did 21 days of yoga. So I'm just like making this super fun.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. That's what I love about your spirit. I think that's what I try to.
Thanks.
The same thing. It doesn't matter, what I'm doing. I try to just. It makes it richer, doesn't it? This experience. I mean, having this crap makes like life and the good things even that much richer and feel that much better. Like you mentioned having a plasma exchange. I know you also went and did a stem cell. Was it now? You didn't get the transplant, right? You got a treatment.
No.
Treatment?
No. Therapy. Yeah, the stem cell therapy. There's HSCT, which is the stem cell transplant. You have to do a lot of chemo beforehand, lose all your hair. It's very popular for multiple sclerosis as well as CIDP. Mm-hmm. But I have the difference between the two is multiple sclerosis attacks your central nervous system. Mine attacks the peripheral. But HSCT is very successful with both. I'm in my I'm not early 30s anymore, 35. I just didn't want to put myself through losing my hair and going through all the chemo and putting my organs through that if I don't have to.
Right.
So I know they do that in Chicago and Denver as well. Medicare covers it now if anyone's interested.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just, it has and if I had progressive multiple sclerosis, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
They have a 97% success rate of CIDP, 80% with multiple sclerosis, and getting off of all medication and stopping it in its tracks. They do HSCT in Mexico and Russia as well for about $50,000. It was about 100.
Because I didn't know that they had it in Denver. Because I've been wanting to do the transplant for forever. I'll do it.
Yeah. They have it in Denver. I can connect, and that's going to be a lot easier to get into than Chicago because Dr. Burt is no longer up there doing that right now. And from what I understand, they're not taking any new patients in Chicago right now. But Denver, unless they just gotten way too booked up, was still taking patients. My friend was their very first. He had CIDP, a very, very bad case, young dude. And he did it 3 years ago, I believe, or 3 or 4 years ago. Still seeing improvements every single day. And it didn't get him off of all medication, but he was doing plasma exchange like every week or two to survive, to live, like to breathe.
Wow.
And the HSCT has gotten him to where he's learning he can walk now with 2 AFOs. He's a painter, he's an artist, and he paints with his mouth. And so he's actually, I think he's somewhere right now where they're showing his art. So very cool dude, but he's happy to talk to anyone about the facility in Denver that does it. So anyways, that's HSCT. A lot of people ask me why I don't want to do it, and just because I don't want to put my body through all the chemo if I don't have to. And so far, I don't seem like I have to do that. But I would everyone I know that's done it just raves about it, says that they're super glad they did it. I went to Panama, another super popular and well-known facility. It's Dr. Riordan's clinic. In Panama, he's the one that did the Joe Rogan podcast with Mel Gibson. A lot of people have seen that one. So that is a stem cell therapy. It does not have the numbers, the success rate that an HSCT does, but it still has good success. They say that they have about a 75% success rate in improving the situation of the people that come there. And that's just...
With the therapy, do you have to get it every like 5 years or 10 years when you do the therapy? Don't you need to repeat it?
So it just depends. Like, and it just depends. So there's lots of people who go there for multiple sclerosis. There's one from Texas, he's a coach, that after he went his 3rd time, and pricing, it's about $23,000 each time you go. You get 120 million MSC, umbilical cord stem cells. But like that coach, after his 3rd time, his multiple sclerosis is cured. He no longer needs to go. He no longer has symptoms, nothing. But it took 3 times. I could really go on a tangent about this, so I'll try to keep it. The reason Panama is more popular, one, they've been doing it. They're one of the front runners. They've been doing it a lot longer than most everybody else in the world. But 2, they scan every cell to make sure it has all 3 parts to it. They call it a golden cell. And they've kind of done that through trial and error. Like, why did this guy come the first 2 times and he didn't get cured, but he did the 3rd? And then they look and, okay, there's a higher quantity of these golden cells in the 3rd time he went. So now those are the only cells they'll give people. So some people are just like, Panama doesn't work, but they've gotten better at it, you know? So yeah, the stem cell therapy, there's no downside that they know of. It's only regenerative or it does nothing. And with someone with multiple sclerosis or CIDP or whatever, what they can help with is calming down your autoimmune and getting you off of all medication. I can't put a number on it. I bet you've got a 50-50 shot at that with them.
Yeah.
So it's not even like most, but I don't even know if it worked for me yet. I got it done 3 months ago, so I'm still on my journey with that.
Right.
But it can also help stimulate new nerve growth. I have a personal friend who went down there about 9 months ago to Panama with multiple sclerosis. She went and got HSCT stem cell in Russia because she was going down fast in a wheelchair, and HSCT stopped her MS completely in its tracks. She didn't get any worse. She's off all medication, so it worked. She's super glad she went. However, after the HSCT, she never got better. Like, it's been years, and she still can't walk. She can't move her legs.
Okay.
She's still in a wheelchair. She's a really cool lady, also. But so she went down to Panama after having no improvement for a few years at all. So that's how we know if she sees improvement, it's from Panama. So she goes down there, gets the treatment. She can now, it's been about 9 months. She can now stand from her wheelchair and take some steps. So it did work for her in stimulating new nerve growth.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It is.
Okay. I'm like more and more. I've always wanted to do it. Money has always been an issue. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to be able
Yeah, dude, all that stuff is, I know.
to
I know.
do it.
Yeah,
I know. So okay, so you're doing the therapy. You kind of, and I'm just curious because there's so many autoimmune diseases, and CIDP. You're
yeah.
the first person I've heard of about it. You said it works.
Yeah.
It messes up with the what was it, part of the brain?
Yeah, no, my brain is totally cool on paper. But CIDP, your autoimmune is in your peripheral nervous system, whereas MS, it's in your central nervous system. And your central nervous system is brain and spine, which feed into your peripheral nerves. Your peripheral nerves are in your arms, legs, face, throat, and your organs.
Okay. All right. I'm seeing. And now it's typically degenerative, and it sounds like it could lead to death untreated because you stop breathing.
It could. That's more common with Guillain-Barré. But yeah, the breathing thing is something that they watch really closely because it's not common with CID. Very common with Guillain-Barré that your lungs give out, but we're starting to give out a little bit, just a little bit. Some people end up on a trach tube and stuff.
No, so the difference between, I love what you're doing. You're trying to do a lot of natural care. Are you on any medicines as well? Or did you give up, or did you say, forget that, you didn't work for me? Ah.
So, you can see my hands. That's where I'm still, and I got the claw. So my treatment plan isn't, I think it would maybe work for multiple sclerosis, but I know a lot of people with multiple sclerosis are familiar with Rituxan or rituximab.
I used to be on it.
Yeah. And
I'm on Ocrevus.
You know what?
You're what? Bigger, better. Oh, rituximab, Ocrevus. It's basically the same drug from mouse cells to human cells, and because rituximab was almost about to, story is it was going to be generic, like the patent was about to run out. So they found out it was great for multiple sclerosis. So the theory, this is supposed, is that they said, okay, well, let's make a new drug that's like practically identically the same, and we don't have to discount the price. Is the theory of why, but they're basically sister drugs. So now I'm on Ocrevus, which is pretty. But
so you're still on it?
And on the Ocrevus, yeah. And my next one's in May, and I want to get it, but I'm hoping to. I've changed my diet. We'll go back to you, but yeah, I've changed my diet up. It's not as fun, but it's about feeding the. Dr. Walls has a great diet. She had yeah. And so, what is it? My brain is tired because I'm tired and I can't think. Not the mitochondria in your brain. So it really feeds and it can regrow the mitochondria and make them nice and healthy and reverse your age as well. So feeds all those.
The protocol?
The mitochondria?
Yeah, the protocol you're doing can do all that?
Yeah, so
cool.
yes. So feeding basically, you have to get the book, but the big thing is she's really expresses so.
Oh, no, I've read her book.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's just been a really long time. So.
Yeah. So I'm trying to do that, and then I don't know if I have the guts to get off of Ocrevus without stem cell, because it gave me a severe type of. I had a different PTSD when I was younger, and I feel that with this illness because it's been so many setbacks that are just devastating and that keep taking me back. So I get scared. I'm nervous to get off of it without with a stem cell. I could.
Totally get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get it. Have you done much stuff to try to help the PTSD?
I did when I was younger. So like I said, I had it when I was younger, and I did EMDR, and I loved the EMDR. And it's so funny because you in a situation where I normally would have reacted and be like, you start to kind of react and like, whoa, Brenna, like, calm down. You just feel it change, and it was life changing. And I wanted to do it again. I have not had the opportunity to do it again.
Because I wonder if your PTSD is how tied it is to your MS.
Yeah, they say that can do, be a thing too.
Yeah, because a lot of people have, like, these people that have these, like, miraculous healings from something chronic, a lot of them it's because they did something that just really dove in and healed, their PTSD or healed those emotions. And then that's where they got the miraculous healing from the autoimmune. It's not like they, took the right drug or something like that fixed the immune system. It's just like
I
our emotions are so tied.
I believe in that so much. So I have my page on here, which I'm going to post this interview on, my Brenna healing page. And that's just a big part of it. I think there's just so much in our subconscious, definitely in mine,
Yeah.
I always talk about strong women. And I think a lot of us, and I have friends that are like this, we're known as being strong and hustling and getting stuff done. When really we've just learned to compartmentalize and deal with stuff forever and just not let traumas or bad things affect us, and we keep going, and so that stuff all stays in the body. So that's
Yeah.
a big healing too. It's mental, physical, spiritual, so yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely would do some more PTSD, and I'm definitely searching deep. God made me, I'm pretty raw after this past year, my spirit is,
Yeah.
which is a perfect place to grow new thick skin.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's that.
Thick skin is just more layers of life,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm super biased, and most people probably are not into this idea, but ayahuasca is they have pretty good success with PTSD.
I can do that. So I can't. Everybody, when I first was diagnosed, I wondered how it would affect you, but everybody was like medical marijuana. You got to do MMJ, and it's really good. And there's a lot of people that get relief, especially if it's pain. I constantly have
Yeah.
my headache all the way down to my arms to my toes every day. I live with that pain. But that's the least of what bothers me.
Yeah.
So I tried it, and the smallest amount of THC gives me vertigo, awful vertigo, room spinning, everything. So
Yeah.
I know if I do it, it's an edible and it's under 5 milligrams. So I'm scared of ayahuasca.
Well,
scares me.
you should be scared. You should be scared. It's terrifying.
Oh,
That's why it works so well, because that's why it's so transformative, is because it is so intense and terrifying, at least in my opinion. It's different for everybody, but it's cool. Like, I would think it'd be awesome for someone with multiple sclerosis.
Because it makes you vomit.
Huh?
That's part of the process, is it makes you feel disgusting and want to vomit. And
hey, you puke. Well, most people puke your brains out. I've done it twice, and the first time I threw up once, and it was like, but it was therapeutic. And I'm sure not everyone would say that, but I've heard that a few times from people, because it's like symbolic, and it happens mostly at the start of the ceremony. It's like symbolic, you're really like letting go and like purging just like all the bad stuff that you've got. And I don't just mean what's in your stomach, just like, it's like the act of it is just like, oh, like you're just releasing, and then it's like
of your brain, right? That isn't usually
yeah.
There's whole
I mean, it's just I would think it'd be good for multiple sclerosis, since that's a central nervous system thing, because it's able to open new neurological pathways. So, but it's one of the main things people do ayahuasca for is to treat depression and PTSD. Like that's like its main, where it can really help with healing the most. And then that, as I was saying earlier, once you heal that, then a side effect of that could be your cancer goes away, or you get better movement because your neurological system's functioning better, or whatever.
I'd be willing to try it. I know it's going to be hell if I try it, because of the way I handle pot. My kids hate when I pot, but whatever. Pot.
Yeah.
Like, Mom.
Well, I experimented with edibles and THC at the start of everything. And to be honest, it made my symptoms worse. Like for me, somebody who has such a challenge, mobility challenges, I was just like, oh my God, I'm like, I can't use my hands even worse. Like, so that's not my favorite.
I'm laughing
either.
because there was a short time when I needed help, and it wasn't long, but I did same like with my zipper, and my kids had to sit me on the toilet. I didn't have the muscles to sit down myself or undo my pants. So I'm just laughing at you, trying to be like, sorry.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Do you have do you do like because I just want, again, I'm just going to ask you all kinds of questions. Do you
go for it.
stay away from alcohol? Are you okay with wine a little bit? Not getting okay.
So well, I stayed away from alcohol. I did stem cells the week of November 11th. And the one, like, I was like, do I need to do the keto diet? Which by the way, your stem cells thrive the most. Like the lower your insulin, the better function of your stem cells. And
Okay.
your, sugar spikes your insulin. So like
No beer.
your stem cells have a better shot of thriving if you're fasting or on keto. So
Okay.
I was just like, do I need to like do this or that? And she was like, the only real recommendation we have is don't drink alcohol. She was like, there's a profound effect alcohol has on killing stem cells. And I was like, got it. So I stayed away from alcohol for like 3 months, mainly because I didn't want to kill all those very expensive stem cells.
Right.
But and also alcohol has a bad effect on it. It can cause inflammation in your peripheral nervous system. Like I've had 2 doctors recently tell me that alcohol and sugar are the 2 worst things for your peripheral nerves. Like the alcohol and sugar it gets acidic, and your body will push that acid away from your organs. So they push it, as we talked about, your central nervous system is in the middle, your peripheral is in your limbs, your outside. So it's pushing the acidity away from your heart and away from your organs into your hands and feet, where I have a lot of problems. So all that said, yes, I drink. And I took a break. I took a break for 3 months because of stem cells. And I just started drinking a little bit of wine. I really just only drink wine, red wine. And I try not to do more than like 2 glasses a week.
Right.
That said, if I want to get my party on, I will. I just try not to do it all the time, and I don't recommend that. It's just I tend to make that choice sometimes.
I do. I go through that same rebellious thing too. Like, you know what? I went through this already, and I went through that. So screw it. I'm going to do whatever I want right now. I'm kind of generally living my life like that. But I'm also still at the point where it's like, okay, enough. I need more of a life, and I'm still trying to, But yeah, when you spend most of your time laying down on a couch doing nothing and cut off life, and it's like I deserve this sometimes. So sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate when people tell me like it's just finding balance, and I hate that phrase, but it's true. I don't know why I hate it. It's that, and everything happens for a reason. I'm like, okay, but like thanks, because that's what I want to hear right now. Like as I'm miserable over here with dealing with this thing in this moment, you're telling me everything happens for a reason. That is just thank you for that tip.
I don't agree.
Yeah, I mean, I believe in that everything happens for a reason, but just in a different choice of words. But
I believe
anyways,
it's just going to happen. I believe it just happens. And I believe we move and there's a balance, a shift, one way or another. There's good and there's bad in the world. And you just find yourself. And when something horrible happens, that gives us an opportunity for something great, something bigger.
I more think like you're talking right now. Like I'm picking up what you're throwing down for sure.
Yeah, we got to navigate with it. And we can take the good and take the bad from whatever. I don't believe God says, and I'm just going to say, oh, this baby was born a crack addict because of mom for a reason, or this child went through this abuse for a reason. That's not a reason. It's despite that we can get through that, and we can summers, which is what we're trying to do, and navigate and come out on the other end, come out on the upper end, because who wants to go the opposite way? Really?
Yeah.
Who wants to be miserable? Who wants to be, and I think there's a lot of that in this world, and a lot pushes us to, there is that other force that pushes us to give up, pushes us to be negative, pushes us to hate and be angry. And so we have to, so there's bad things that are happening to those people, and we have to offset, okay, bad things are happening to good people too. And you just have to take that and make that your victory, make our triumph. So.
Yeah. Well, like ultimately I'm sitting here talking to you in my car at Mochas and Javas because of every little thing that has happened in the whole world since the beginning of time. Like everything had to be exactly that way for me to be here because of the smallest little things change who you meet and whatever. So it's like these bad things that happen, had they not, all these other good things and stuff wouldn't be there either. It's just like I'm just agreeing with you. It's just things happen, so then other things happen.
Yeah.
Like it is what it is. Like if we just wished that every bad thing in the world never happened to every person in the world, there would be no world. Like, yeah.
I get exactly what you're saying. There's a gentleman, I'm going to be doing an interview with him tomorrow night, and this is kind of reversed because it's on my crap. And he's got a whole program, create your life type program that he's doing. And in the questions he gave me, one of the things that came down to dealing with my mom, she committed suicide when I was 11, and I want my mom back every day. That never goes away. I want my mommy. I want her to meet my kids.
You make me cry.
I'm about to cry. But I know for a fact because of how I was as a kid and her trauma drama and that was put into me. Had she lived, and it's just a yin and yang thing.
Sure.
I don't wish this, for anybody, but had she, I would have died. I don't know if I would not have made it past my teens. Life would have been different. So I use that opportunity. I use that opportunity to live my life, to try to honor her and be her voice and speak for her. Here, that's my way to keep her close to me. So,
that's really sweet.
Thank you. But yeah. So that's what I do, and it just So did it happen for a reason? No, but I don't think it was a purposeful thing, but there was something that could be good coming out of that. It's like, okay.
Well, I bet she's very proud of you.
I feel like she is. I feel like she would be. So anyways, back to you. Let's talk about your parents, because you had to have you seem like you have a great support system. I'm looking on
the
let's talk about I mean, how I don't have that current, real strong family. It's been hard doing this on my own. That's been
I can't imagine.
Yeah, I mean, what has that been for you? Your family?
Yeah, I have a really, really, really amazing family. I mean, the best. And I think growing up feeling so loved unconditionally, like that unconditional love is super powerful. Because when you know that like you're loved no matter what, it makes you feel like you're okay no matter what.
Right.
And I think that's been probably my biggest source of strength, is that unconditional love from my family. But when I left Dallas, Texas, I was like, I'm getting the F out of here like 7 or 8 years ago. And I was like, I'm going to take on the world. And I sold my job. Sold everything I owned, quit my job, and went backpacking around the world for a year. Got back, moved to Austin, moved to Vegas, blah, blah, blah. I very much learned how to quit caring what other people thought. And I very much learned to just live in the moment and follow my heart. But in doing that, I did such a good job of learning how to be present in the moment and give what was in front of me my attention and be very present. That also means that my parents back in Texas, I never called them. I never was plugged into what was important to my sister. I just completely did not give them the love and attention that they very much deserved. And when I got sick, like I came to visit them like once or twice a year. When I got sick, it's like I barely knew what was going on in my family's life, but they dropped everything. They dropped everything for me, just like I'd been a part of their life every day. It's been my parents, like, yeah, they're my parents, but the one that really surprised me was my sister. Not surprised because she's a really good person, but I really felt bad because I'll say this vulnerably and honestly, like, I don't think I would have done for her what she did for me, because she dropped, like, she had a newborn baby, 1 month old, and like flew with her newborn to come take care of me in the nursing home in California. And she, like, I became her third child. Like, she would feed her baby boy a bite, feed me a bite. She cooked food for me all the time. So as did my mom. And they would bring it and keep my hospital room full of like autoimmune protocol, diet approved food, all organic and stuff like that. And they just took me in and did everything, you know, like my dad stayed home with me. He's the one that got me dressed in the morning, took me to the bathroom, got me fed. And my mom tucked me in every night and always made me laugh. And they've, you know, yeah, they've been wonderful. But it's been cool because like my sister and I have always been very different. Like she could be on the cover of like All American magazine if that's a thing. Like just perfect mom, perfect wife, perfect house, perfect life. One of her dogs, I wouldn't say is perfect, but everything else. and she very much did the family white picket fence thing. I was like free spirited, travel the world. Like I think I lived a very wonderful life in a very different way. So we just didn't have a whole lot in common. And then in this situation, it was an opportunity for us to just, instead of me being in her bubble or her being in my bubble, we were in our own bubble, just like her and I, or her taking care of me. So we got to really bond and be close over that. And I very much got reconnected to my family. And yeah, that's like a very silver lining is like, I think had this not happened, I would have continued coming to see my family once or twice a year, calling them on their birthday. And one day I would have looked up and my parents wouldn't be here anymore. And I would be like, oh my gosh, like I missed it. I missed an entire life of spending time with these amazing people. And that would have been horrible. That would have been way worse than anything I've experienced with my autoimmune.
That isn't it crazy that it takes this kind of crap for us to like be like, oh, to get, yeah. I'd say I had a short moment like that where there was a phrase in the Bible and it says, I'll get into that later. Well, I brought it up. It says, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Something like he lays me by still water. And I've heard this forever, this Bible verse forever. But it's what stood out to me. It says he lays me, or he makes me lay. He makes me lay. And it's like God and I'm laying there on my couch feeling life pass me by. Like God had to make me lay to calm his child. You know, he had to, and I've gotten to realize how much in survival mode I am, and make everything happen instead of just ever being present. And he did this. He allowed me to be my most authentic self. I don't hide myself for anybody anymore. It's like I'm here, if they like it, if they don't, they don't. Yeah. But my most authentic self and my most present, and to be able to connect with people. And so he took this illness to do that, and as much as I thought I was, a good person doing what I needed to be doing. And he said, no, you step back. I've got a different path for you and road for you. And you're going to lay here and listen. I'm ready. I'm ready to do more.
Since I got paralyzed from the neck down and I lost my voice, I always joke that God was like, sit down and shut up. And I was like, nope.
Like, okay, can I speak now? Am I out of time now?
Okay. Yeah. You got my attention. Can I talk? Please.
But I just think of like the amazing things you're just such a great spirit. You're such a beautiful spirit. You are. Thanks. And I get it. I get the feeling weak sometimes, like you were saying, like you're just not always. I think that goes with it. I think that just goes with it, but that's what allows, I think, us to sit here and have these moments of vulnerability where we can talk to other people and say, you're not alone. For me, I know I hit a really low spot a few weeks ago, very low spot. Mm-hmm. And physically or mentally? Yeah, emotionally. Yeah. And it was like, it was almost
good times.
Overwhelming. It was good times, but it gets you to the next day, you keep going and you're just like, okay, that passes. Like that passes, it's like, all right, able to move on and do stuff. So
Yeah. I don't mind feeling sad. I mean, I don't want to feel sad all the time, but sometimes when I feel really sad, it's like there's something in I like crying too when I'm happy or sad. But there's just something just very like nurturing about it, in the sense that you just are feeling so deeply. Like you're just like in this moment of just like it's just such an intense, vulnerable, like I don't know about gentle, but like I don't know, I feel sad. I feel very feminine and very like um fragile and kind and open and just so vulnerable, to where like I just need to be held. And I just think there's like a little bit
I
of
think
a
that's so healthy. I think that's beautiful, and I think it's so
yeah,
healthy. I think I was always taught, growing up, again with my mom, it was for me. It was don't cry, like with anything,
yeah,
any real emotion, like with just like
yeah,
that's how they dealt. And it's like, so I learned to not. So that's an emotion that I have to get. But I think I cry a lot easier these days, and a lot more the simplest
yeah,
things. Oh,
yeah, you've been broken down.
and I think that's healthy that you feel like that. I think that's good.
Yeah, there's a beauty to it. And of course, I don't want to feel that way all the time, but it's like it's kind of like a reset. I think that especially people with autoimmune, but just people in general, you want to power through and like be like, I'm tough and I got this and I'm not gonna let this win. But
Yes.
you know what? I think it takes more strength. Like I think a strong person can say, I don't got this. And like I am broken, and just letting those emotions run their course and feel them, and it can reset you. It because it humbles you.
Yeah.
You're just like, okay, like I'm humbled now, and maybe the course I was going, the course of me toughing through and fighting uphill that direction, maybe I don't need to fight up that hill when I can just take a beautiful walk this way. So
Yeah.
it's just like it kind of resets you to be like, okay, like that didn't work, or I feel sad about this, or I'm mourning the loss of this person, I'm mourning the loss of myself. And now I'm like, huh, okay, let's regroup here and let's go this other way. And it's okay.
I love that.
Yeah.
So where are you now? So now, I mean, does this affect your energy wise? Is it mostly physical? Where are you now?
I mean, I'm fortunate that in my autoimmune, because everyone's so different, fatigue and pain are not my biggest symptoms. And by fatigue, like I'm very weak. Like if if somebody walked a day in my body, they'd be like, what the hell? Like this is crazy feeling. So it's like I do have a lot of mobility challenges and muscle atrophy and weakness, and that's so much nerve damage. But when I say fatigue, I mean that feeling of like I can't get out of bed. I don't have that most of the time. Um, and then in pain, I don't. So I got some other weird feelings, but um, yeah. So what did you ask? You said I don't ask me about fatigue.
Where
I
are
don't
you
remember.
now? Like, where are you now? So with your symptoms and everything,
Oh,
and
okay.
as far as they've improved.
So I'm still seeing minor improvements. I've been improving for a little over 2 years now, but I would say the past 9 months, I'm improving so slow I can barely tell I'm improving, which sucks. That's disheartening. It's like as long as you're getting better, you're like, okay, like, whew, at least getting better. But then when you go through these times of plateauing,
Yeah.
it's like, whoa, like I do have moments where I'm just like, my mind kind of gets blown so much. I'm surprised my head's still in my body. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, does this mean this might be forever? And it's like, whoa. But I am seeing small gains still. I can walk, slow. I have foot drop, which drives me crazy. I have very limited use, not very limited my use. Thought it was really dramatic. I have some challenges with my hands. Like I can't type on a computer unless I just text like an old person. I can't, it's really hard to write. I hate it, but I'll do it if I have to. But that's where I'm at.
Yeah. And
I'm
so
hoping the stem cells kick in and are like, I'm like, whoa, oh my God, now all of a sudden I can do this. But I had not seen that yet. And medication wise, remission wise, on Monday, I will have been 12 weeks without any medication.
okay.
I do have, like, I had a flare up yesterday and it really scared me because I'm like, oh my God, am I going down? Am I going down? Which I think is a
Right.
common fear of anyone with
And you're
autoimmune.
off
It's like
medication. Yeah.
yeah. My neurologist didn't tell me to do this. I'm just doing this on my own because in my heart, we've mentioned intuition. It's like intuitively, I feel like I'm in remission. It's a severe case. I had one of the most severe cases in the country that I know of for CIDP. My neurologist has a close eye on me of like we need, just close eye. But I just with getting this
medicine, it's beyond pills. Don't do it naturally.
Yeah. And I have a really good neurologist. She's really, really awesome. And she's open-minded to where she's like, okay, if you want to try this, go for it. But she's like, if you get the slightest, like, you think you're going down, let's get you in here immediately and get you on medication or whatever. But since I got the stem cell treatment or therapy in November, I just want to know if it got me into remission. And the only way to know that is to get off medication and see if you get screwed up or not. So I haven't done Rituxan. My treatment plan was IVIG at first from the Mayo Clinic. That failed. Did plasma exchange. That worked. Continued doing IVIG and rituximab. I have not done rituximab in a year. My B cells have grown back halfway. So it's kind of like the rituximab still kind of working. So am I in remission or is the Rituxan still working? I'm kind of like there right now.
That's just everybody B cells, like with MS, and it sounds like the CIDP are what attack are the part what they've identified so far, mostly with MS. There's some doctors that go back and forth, but that's what attacks my myelin, and that's what it's attacking your brain as well, your body.
Yeah, your B cells.
Rituximab kills all the B cells.
Yeah, rituximab's an isolated chemo, so it doesn't go in there and destroy everything. It kills your CD19 protein that's attached to your B cells. Your B cells are the part of your immune system that produce antibodies, and your antibodies are like, they're not the ones that really do the killing, as far as I understand. They're the ones that go and wrap themselves around different bacteria or viruses or whatever, and they say, yo, like, come get this guy, come knock this guy out. And then your T cells or whatever go in there and just like start killing them. Well, with multiple sclerosis and CIDP, which are autoimmunes that have to do with your antibodies, our antibodies are wrapping themselves around our nervous system, flagging it to be killed. So the rituximab comes in there, kills your B cells, so you cannot produce antibodies to do that. Right. And you would think that your immune system would really suck if, like, you get exposed to the coronavirus or whatever, and then all of a sudden you don't have your B cells that can actually produce antibodies, the right antibodies to go after that. But studies show really people they don't seem to be that much more at risk with their rituximab somehow. I don't really, even my neurologist was like, on paper, you would think that someone who doesn't have their B cells would have a really bad immune system, but she was like, but in clinical studies seem to still be okay. But yeah, I haven't done Rituxan in a year, and I've been off IVIG for almost 12 weeks. So that's cool. I'm not sure if I'm in remission yet, but I'm in that very, very weird, scary time where I'm just like, B cells are growing back, so I could have a relapse. I'm getting off medication at the same time. I'm just kind of winging it over here.
Oh, I love it. We're going to have to do another one of these in like another few months.
Yeah, and hopefully I'm not doing it from a wheelchair.
Well,
I'm like, well, that didn't work.
No, it's not. I'm not believing that. I'm having faith that this is going
to. Yeah, I am too. I really like I would recommend this to people. The affirmation, I'm in remission. Like, affirmations really work. It's your brain talks to your body. Nobody can deny that. So if you're thinking thoughts in your brain to tell your body to do something, there is some effect there. There just is. But some of the affirmations, like, oh, I'm in perfect health. I'm like, I feel like I'm lying to myself right now. I can't even get into the affirmation. But the affirmation that's really been resonating well with me is I'm in remission.
Okay.
And if you say it enough times, you start to be like, am I? I don't really think I'm in remission. Am I? Could I be? I guess I could maybe be. And then you're like, I'm in remission. I'm in remission. And then eventually you start thinking like, I think I'm in remission. And so I really like that one. And
I'll
so,
have to
yeah,
try.
yeah.
I'm
You just,
meditating, and it is when I sit there and I try, I try different types. I like the one that clears your mind totally and just lets you be. And then I do
yeah.
the affirmations, and I sit there and it's like, I am healthy. I am healthy. And it's like, I feel
Yeah.
like, but I,
Yeah. Yeah. I've tried that
I
one
am
and I'm
healthy.
like,
So
I'm
I'll
not
have to
buying it.
try to do that. I'm in
Yeah.
remission.
I really like it that I'm
I
in
am
remission.
strong, and I can pull that one because I feel strong in spirit. So, I'll say that one.
Yeah. Well, you are strong in spirit, my darling.
Thank you, my darling. So what are I kind of wrap this up. We'll do another one because it's so fun talking to you, and everybody's going to be like,
Oh,
3 hour long. No,
it's fun talking to you too. Sorry, I'm trying not to talk too much.
no, we're
Failing.
gonna have to meet someday. We'll have to
Yeah.
hopefully do something and maybe travel. You can. I'm so nervous
Girl.
about going overseas because I feel like I'm going to be lost in countries where I don't speak the language, and
There's someone that speaks English everywhere. And you know what? There's good people everywhere. Like there really, really are wonderful, sweet people in every country, in every place. People are good natured. I think just because they're born in a different country doesn't mean they're born with a different, nature. Like at our core, we're love. It's true. So there's always somebody that'll help you. It really is.
Okay, what are give me some kind of wrap it up here. What are some of your favorite quotes?
Favorite quotes. I mean, I love the phrase "make every day the best of your life." But I don't know that that's a quote. I mean, I've always really liked the life's not about, avoiding the storm. It's learning to dance in the rain. I mean, it's just true.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love those. Those are perfect.
And I already said the one. I love you can't heal in the same environment that made you sick.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. That is a good one. I feel like I'm kind of back where I was, but my life is different now. And so just redoing it, and my vision is different and my purpose is different. So I'm just kind of disconnecting. I've disconnected from the old, and I'm connecting with whatever new comes, and it's nice. It's peaceful. All right, so people get stumped on this one a lot.
Okay, cool.
Because music is like, and this is food, music and food for me are life, and it stinks because I'm limited.
Oh my God,
right now.
I love to eat.
Whatever, health first. Maybe I'm trying to get to where eventually I can do a cheat day, maybe once a month. On Thanksgiving, I got to do a cheat day.
Does cheat days make you have a flare up?
Some people it does. So
It doesn't for me.
I'll figure it out. Okay. Yeah, I'll figure it out with my own body. I definitely know there's some things with my blood type that I need to stay away from. And
What's your blood type?
Type O. O negative.
I mean,
really?
O negative.
I wonder how many are O's. Because
I don't know. Somebody told me that RH negative. Autoimmune's more common with RH negative.
Wow, that's crazy.
And it's because we're better. Just kidding.
Well, I think like O's are. I just found this out like a week or two ago. O's are the warrior blood type. It's the standard warrior blood type. So our food is more that warrior food off of that.
Paleo.
Yeah, but mine is, so I'm like, and when I got really sick, I noticed I had to stay away. Like milk all of a sudden disgusted me, eggs all of a sudden disgusted me, and those are things
so
stay away from.
Type O are supposed to eat a more paleo diet, and type A's are supposed to eat a more vegan plant-based diet. I was vegan plant-based when I got autoimmune. I'm not saying being vegan is what caused my autoimmune at all, but my blood type is supposedly does a lot better on a paleo. So there is that little. I changed to paleo.
I'm happy because I love meat. My daughter's always trying to get me to be a vegetarian, and she's, does that. I'm like, I need meat. I need steak.
Yeah.
And so it's like and so does the walls. I need protein. I can have all of it.
Yeah.
So that is. So wait, we got your favorite quotes. So back to this one. A lot of I always say to people, so we're getting ready. We're creating the movie. Yeah, Courtney Runyon. Runyon Renaissance. The life story
Yeah.
of Courtney Runyon and her overcoming CIDP. We're gonna do the movie to your life. What is your theme song?
I mean, the thing that comes to mind is Bringing Sexy Back, but that's probably not what I would. That's probably wouldn't be my pick. Baby Got Back also jumped in my head. That's because I know all the words to that song. But I guess I would just go. I guess until I thought of something else, I would go with Bringing Sexy Back because things got real unsexy there for a little bit. real unsexy.
I love it.
But,
Let's go with that. I love it. I love it.
yeah, Justin Timberlake's cool. Whatever.
Yes. Okay.
Seems
So
nice.
bringing sexy back, and we'll bring you back in another couple months, and we'll do the progress. And
Okay.
And this was awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thank you for thinking of me and being so sweet. And you are just beautiful. You have such a kind, gentle spirit. It just radiates out of you. Really, really does. You're a beautiful person.
I'm gonna record that part that you said that and send that to everybody.
It's gonna be your alarm
Just
clock.
certain people. No.
Yeah.
No. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks to whoever's still listening. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right, bye.